If you have been feeling overwhelmed and completely unmotivated, this video is for you. Today I will be sharing with you the exact steps that you can follow to get your life together within 24 hours. Let's start. Good morning, my friends. I just finished getting ready and I wanted to say good morning now that I look more presentable. Honestly, if I could stay in my PJs for the whole day and just sit on this couch and drink tea, read my book, watch YouTube videos, I would do it. I have been feeling not on top of things lately. I don't want to say that I am in a slump, but I feel a bit not that organized, not that I have my life together. And you know what that means. I am picking up the camera and we're getting our lives together. You and me, we're doing it today. I have created a to-do list. It's written on my phone. Everything is written down. I am ready to start this day. So the number one thing that I do when I want to get my life back together, back on track, is to journal. I do journal daily. I make sure that I write down 3 things that I'm grateful for. I love gratitude journaling because, you know, it puts things into perspective. I might wake up and feel grumpy and moody and anxious, but then I'm like, hey, you have some things here to be grateful for, so chill. But there are days that I don't only write things that I'm grateful for. There are days that my brain just vomits on a piece of paper. That's how I can describe it. I write down everything and anything that comes into my mind. I just want it to be out of my mind, out of my soul, out of my system, on a piece of paper, and then I feel 10 times better. And now the second step to get our lives together is to do a quick cleanup around the space. You can just tidy your room, maybe a couple of rooms into your apartment, maybe your whole apartment if you're up to it. But I'm not talking about deep cleaning here. We're not doing like a huge deep cleaning here. No, we're just going to tidy up the space that we have around us. Look around you. Do you have any clutter? Is there something in the room currently that looks annoying and you know that it needs to be put back into its place? I see a few things. I gotta get up, tidy. I will also Swiffer the floors to get rid of any dust. And I will also do a quick kitchen cleanup. And I almost forgot, I also have to do laundry. So this is a huge one for me to feel like I have my life back on track. If my space is messy, I get so anxious. My environment affects my mood so much. And I know that this happens for a lot of people, but with me, it is so intense. So let's get up and let's get to cleaning. So I'm about to start my cleaning, but what I'm going to be listening while I am cleaning is a self-development podcast. The one that I will be listening is called The Mindset Mentor. It's one of my go-to podcasts. I have been listening to that for years. Straight to the point episodes, amazing topics, very helpful. So I encourage you to also listen to some self-development podcasts, or maybe to just put on a self-help video, self-development video, something that focuses on a topic of self-development, something you want to work on. So you're doing 2 things in one. While you're cleaning, you're also listening to something helpful, something beneficial. I'm turning on my podcast and I'm getting into cleaning.
Street lights and car rides to spots that no one knows. Good hugs and hot mugs, blankets in the cold. They're the things reminding me living life is pretty neat. And across my mind run the reasons why it's a blessing just to be. smiles and sweet sounds of laughing with your friends. Fresh snow, the moon glow, and views that never end. When the world is stressing me, try to see these little things, and across my mind run the reasons why.
The laundry machine is super loud, so we're getting up close and personal through my phone's microphone. I really hope you cannot hear the laundry machine. I'm pretty sure you can. But let's move on to the next step to get our lives together, which is completing a task you have been avoiding. I know that I have one of these tasks that sooner or later I have to finish because it is about work, but maybe your task has nothing to do about work. Maybe your task is completely personal, something personal that you have to do. But we all have from time to time these tasks that we are just avoiding and we don't want to do, and then we end up doing them and they were not anything big to begin with. They were just something simple, easy, and we were just exaggerating and we were making a big deal out of nothing. So what I have to do is I have to complete one task for one of my clients, which, as I said, I would have to do that sooner or later. So this is our next step, completing a task we have been avoiding. That task honestly took way less than I anticipated. And the next thing that I try to do when I'm trying to get my life back on track is to take care of my diet. Now, that doesn't mean that I'm not going to eat some chocolate. If I want to eat something sweet, I'm going to do that. But I try to also pay attention to what I eat, because the way that I eat definitely affects my energy levels and the way that I feel. On the days that I might eat heavily processed foods, and on the days that I don't really eat whole foods and I don't really pay attention to my eating habits, I feel way more lethargic, more drained. I don't want to freak anybody out and tell you that you cannot eat your sweet stuff and you cannot eat your pizza or whatever, but let's try to add a bit more fruits in our diets. I always try to have a fruit with my breakfast. This morning I had an apple, and now I'm going to squeeze an orange juice, and I know that it's better to eat the whole orange rather than just eat juice. But as I said, I also eat a whole fruit or a couple of whole fruits with my breakfast. I'm not really the type of person who makes a lot of juices, like with celery and carrots and apples. I know people do that and these are amazing too, but I do prefer to eat my celery, let's say, in my soups, and my carrots as well, maybe in my soups, or with chicken in the oven, like with roasted vegetables. So in the afternoon, instead of maybe making a second cup of tea, I prefer to drink an orange juice. I notice that it does give me energy. So if you are a person who drinks like a second cup of coffee during your afternoon, maybe you should switch it with an orange juice. And I know that if you are addicted to caffeine and if you love your coffee, you might be saying now, what the hell are you saying? But hear me out. Orange juice, don't sleep on it. It tastes great, it's healthy, amazing for the skin. And sometimes when we feel just drained and lethargic, it has everything to do with our diet and also maybe because we are dehydrated. So time to squeeze my orange juice. These are some really good oranges. They're super sweet and delicious. I don't know about you guys, but when I try to get my life back on track, to feel more organized and get productive, I like to consume motivating content. I either watch YouTube videos from creators that I find motivating, like Becca Watson or Zoe Pritchard. I also really love Vanessa's videos and Alia's videos. I will have all the names of these creators on the screen in case you want to check them out, but I'm pretty sure you already know them. But that's one thing that I like doing to consume motivating content and inspiring content. And if I don't feel like watching any videos, I love scrolling on Pinterest. If you're a long-time subscriber, you already know my love for Pinterest. I find Pinterest very motivating, inspiring, beautiful, just a calm space. It is just a social media app that doesn't make me feel overwhelmed and drained and bad about myself, if you know what I mean. So we'll drink up my juice, and while I'm finishing up my juice, I will have a quick scroll on Pinterest because that's just something that I really love doing, and I know that it's going to help me get that motivation and inspiration that I need. I will also put on some music because we gotta set those vibes. I try to not really count on motivation, and I try to count on my discipline, because if we don't have discipline, we cannot really achieve pretty much anything. But there are some times that I do feel that I need some motivation, and I'm not going to feel bad about it if I try to motivate myself through other people's videos or pictures or podcasts. It's completely fine to do that. It is a bit later and I changed into my activewear. And the next thing we're doing to get our lives together is to move our bodies. It doesn't have to be a full-on workout. You don't have to go to the gym if you don't feel like it. I know that working out can make us feel good, better mentally, more energized, but when you have all these tough days in a row and you're feeling like you're in a slump or you're in a rut, maybe you don't necessarily want to go to the gym and be surrounded by other people and to lift heavy or do a very hard group workout. So if you don't want to do any of that, that's completely fine. You can just do some light stretching, maybe some yoga, maybe go out for a quick walk around your neighborhood. I personally want to work out as I normally would, so we'll work out here at home with my dumbbells with a YouTube video. I have been working out with Mr. and Mrs. Muscle, and specifically with Mrs. Muscle because I am working out with the lady of this channel, but they have some really good workouts. So that's what I'm going to do. I want to move my body, and I'm also going to do some stretching before I start my workout because I didn't do it this morning. I normally stretch in the mornings, but today I didn't do it. So I'm going to do it now. So whatever you feel like doing, maybe some light stretching, yoga, a quick walk, a full-on workout, anything that you want, anything that you crave will definitely help you feel more accomplished, like you did something for your body, something good for your body. And with that being said, let's work out. Okay, so my workout is done and I am about to hop into the shower. I will just take a body shower. I washed my hair yesterday, so it doesn't need to be washed today. By the way, I am completely aware that I have a massive pimple on my jaw. I used my retinol 2 nights ago and now I have this massive pimple on my chin. It's like my jaw is growing another jaw, basically. But it doesn't matter because after my shower, I'm going to do my skincare and I'm also going to pop a pimple patch on that pimple, and hopefully by tomorrow it will not have vanished, because I'm sure that it won't have vanished until tomorrow, but at least it will be less noticeable. Not that it bothers me that much, it's just a pimple. But the next step to get our life together is to practice some sort of pampering, nothing crazy, just something simple, a quick warm shower, maybe a face mask, your simple skincare. We don't need to overcomplicate things and spend a couple of hours pampering. I mean, if you have the time to do that and you want to do that, that's amazing. But we're trying to get our life together within a day, within 24 hours, so we don't have that much time, you know? So after my shower, I will take my makeup off with this micellar water. I will cleanse my skin 2 times with my favorite go-to cleanser by La Roche-Posay. I will moisturize my skin with CeraVe, my go-to, inexpensive, very good, very hydrating. And I will make sure to not apply any moisturizer on my pimple because otherwise I feel like my pimple patch will not really stick. I have done it before and it doesn't really stick nicely. And the pimple patches that I will be using are this one. I mean, I'm going to be using just one. This is the brand. I think it is a Korean brand, right? Yeah, it's made in Korea. I think it is a very well-known brand, but this is the only thing I have ever used from this brand. I don't know if these are amazing. I mean, if the pimple is big enough the next morning when you take off the patch, it will have helped a bit to empty the pimple. Is that gross? No, that's human. You get what I mean. It says fast acting, maybe. Protective cover, yes. Non-drying, maybe. Yeah, I think that it doesn't dry my pimples that much. And it says drag free, which I'm going to believe. It's on the label, so I believe you. Anyways, I will need to quickly hop into the shower because I will also have to cook dinner afterwards, which I'm not gonna film because I'm going to make a lentil soup, which I have made before. You have seen that thing in my channel before. I don't think that anyone cares what I'm going to have for dinner, but this is not the last step for this video. This is not the last step, so stay tuned. Stay tuned. We have set all the cozy vibes, fairy lights are on. I have my throw blanket here. I'm wearing my soft cardigan and I have my amazing book here with me. It is also much later and I'm all done with dinner. And the last thing that I want to do tonight to complete this getting my life back together day is to read my book and to just spend some time alone in silence without any distractions like my phone, like watching maybe Netflix or YouTube videos. I just want to take this time to unwind, relax, and not look at any screens. I will probably put on some music though because I love listening to music while I am reading. I like to set the mood. I'm listening to like dark academia playlists or fantasy playlists. And honestly, if you don't feel like reading, you don't have to read, but I truly encourage you to do something that doesn't require you to look at any screens. Maybe you want to do a little bit of meditation, maybe some gentle stretching before bed, some nighttime yoga before bed. Maybe you could also listen to some music and drink a tea or a warm cacao, just something that will help you feel sleepy, relaxed, that will help you unwind, and that won't stimulate your brain a lot and make you feel overstimulated, because if you're scrolling on social media or if you're watching a show that is very extreme and very full of action, it might feel a bit overstimulating before bed. At least that's how I feel like. And you might be wondering, if you don't want to feel overstimulated, why are you reading a fantasy book that is full of mythical creatures and action and world building and characters being described? It is not the same. It is not the same. I know that some people don't like reading fantasy before bed, but honestly, I don't have a problem with that. Not at all. I love reading fantasy even before bed. I thought that it wouldn't be a good idea, that I would feel like my brain is not really shutting down and that it just works a lot to remember names, characters, you know, fantasy worlds. If you're into fantasy, you know what I mean. But so far, I haven't experienced any issues like that at all. Then again, I'm always seeing dreams, even though I always see dreams in my sleep. This is crazy. This is a fun fact about me. I don't think that I ever fall asleep without watching dreams. Is it called watching dreams or seeing dreams? I always see dreams when I'm sleeping. Always. Some are more intense, some are more simple. But yeah, this is a book that I'm currently reading. I am obsessed with it. And I don't like using the word obsessed if it's not something that I am obsessed with. I'm currently in chapter 15. I did a bit of reading this morning. And I don't know how far into it I will get tonight. But this was actually a gift from my boyfriend for our anniversary. He got this book for me and one more book. One moment, I would like to show you. This is the other book that he got me as a gift. I obviously chose them. He has no clue about what I am reading. I mean, I'm telling him, but I don't really think that he is aware of what exactly I'm reading and all these fantasy series and their order and which book to read first, which second. He's not really into reading and definitely not into fantasy books. But I also really want to dive into Throne of Glass because I know that some people love it even more than ACOTAR. I don't know if Throne of Glass is going to be a winner for me or if ACOTAR is going to be my winner, because so far ACOTAR is my obsession, is my baby, and I think that this is going to be favorite book out of this series, but we will see. And also, if you have read the Throne of Glass series, I would love to know the order that you read it, because some people say that you should read Assassin's Blade first and not this one. But then I saw this video that the author suggested that we start with this book. I don't know. I have no clue. If you have read the series, let me know. This was a small chat about books, which I was not really planning on sharing, but I just love reading. And if you are a reader as well, I think it's very nice to just share what we are currently reading. But that's what I'm going to do for the rest of the night. I'm just going to read a few more chapters of my book and I will fall asleep and just rest. I really enjoyed today. I feel like all the steps that I took really helped me to get back on track, because for the past few days that was not the case. So I feel like this day was much needed. So I really hope that this video inspired you and motivated you to get back on track as well. You see that you can actually just take a few simple steps to make yourself feel better and feel more productive and motivated again. You don't need to do anything extreme. So I really hope you enjoyed this video, guys. If you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, and I will see you all in my next one. Bye, friends!